The floor is open for questions, if there are any questions. And I'm sorry, maybe some of our foreign delegates may not have been able to follow the full content, but it was so nice. I could see that there was impromptu translations taking place over there. So you got the vibes. I think that is very nice. तो ख़वातीन और हज़रात, अगर आप मकाला पढ़ने वालों से कोई सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं तो पूछ सकते हैं, प्लीज़. यस.
सवाल ये है जो हमने सूफीज़म की बात की, वो इस्लाम की शुरू हुआ सूफीज़म को जिस तरह से हम समझते हैं कि रसूलुल्लाह के ज़माने से, लेकिन मेरी जो समझ है मुझे बताइए कि ये तो एक हकीकत की बात है तसव्वुफ, तो ये तो हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम से जब से पैदाइश हुई है इंसान की, तो इश्क हकीकी तो उसी वक्त से. तो मैं इसको सेपरेट द फॉर्मल फॉर्म हम तो समझते हैं कि भाई इस्लाम है, ईमान, एहसान है. इस बात पे आई थिंक वाज द अदर स्पीकर, आई एम नॉट श्योर हु मेंशन्ड दैट.
No, I think all of them. Would you like to? Yeah.
देखिए, अगर हम लोग गहराई से पूरी बात मुताला करें पीछे से, तो मुझे खुद भी नहीं लगता, आपका बिल्कुल सवाल जायज़ है कि इस्लाम और तसव्वुफ़ दो अलग चीज़ें रही हैं. अगर आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से जोड़ते हैं तब भी, या हज़रत आदम से लेके तब भी, क्योंकि जो खूबियाँ इनकी हैं कि जिस तरह से अभी मैंने बयान किया था कि एक सहाबा ने पूछा या वैसे कि जो किसी को नुकसान ना पहुँचाए, सबकी तकलीफ़ों में साथ रहे, सबका भला करे, इंसानियत का जो पैगाम है और तमाम इंसान बराबर हैं, ये सब चीज़ें तो हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम के ज़माने से चली आ रही हैं. क्योंकि यही खूबियाँ जो सूफ़ियों की खूबियाँ वही मोमिनों की खूबियाँ हैं. अगर ये वो है तो फिर वो नहीं, वो है तो ये नहीं. चूँकि ये इस्लामी का हिस्सा है और इसे अलग करके बिल्कुल भी पेश नहीं करना चाहिए किसी को भी, क्योंकि सूफ़ी कराम ने भी पूरी ज़िंदगी और जो उनकी तालीमात थी वो सब कुछ वही है जो कुरान है, जो सुन्नत है. और जो कुरान है तो ज़ाहिर सी बात है वो तमाम किताबों का बाद में निचोड़ अल्लाह ताला ने पेश किया है. उससे पहले भी पैगम्बर वही पैगाम लेकर आए, कोई कुछ अलग से तो नहीं ले आया. जो आदम का पैगाम था वही इब्राहीम का पैगाम था, वही आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का पैगाम, और वही बाद में तबा ताबईन ने उस चीज़ को अपनाया. तो सब कुछ सेम है, कुछ अलग नहीं है. उसे अलग करके जो लोग पेश कर रहे हैं वो क्यों कर रहे हैं खुदा बेहतर जाने. और ये समझने का भी फेर है. अगर हम लोग उसे समझे तो मेरे ख्याल से ये जो सवाल है ख़त्म हो जाएगा. सब बराबर ही है. बिल्कुल. जी जी
जो हम मुसलमान
जी जी
रसूलुल्लाह के बाद का समझते हैं एज ए नाउन.
जी बिल्कुल है जी. थैंक यू.
हर मज़हब की रूह है ये, बगैर इसके कोई भी मज़हब नहीं है. जी जी बिल्कुल बेशक.
And just at the tail of it, because I think the question that you asked was inspired more from the scholarly and the academic circles, including the alim of the medieval times, who was so concerned about tracing the origins of tasawwuf rather than defining what it was. So it has always been difficult to define what tasawwuf actually is, and those who are so bothered about rather than being concerned about the origins, we need to see what is the essence. And I think this is the main purpose of the dialogue that we are conducting here. So though your question is very valid and people are curious about it, even from a historical point of view, because that has been my engagement with the field, even from a historical point of view, I think this is a question which is self-defeating, and we do not reach an answer. We only can understand its various shades. That's all. Thank you.
I understand your point, and I do think it's important, as you were saying, that you can find it in all the traditions, whether you're doing Judaism or Hinduism. सब में देखना और समझाना actually helps build the bridge.
Yes, of course.
So
you're absolutely right.
Of doing
yes. You're absolutely right.
The prophets and scriptures the same. So sometimes the arrogance of Muslims to feel that can also begin to worship our religion rather than the message. The messengers versus the message.
Sorry. No, here I would just like to say something, because this is something that I was currently reading. When we, जब हम इस पूरी इल्म का मुताला करते हैं, तो we notice that there are two broad streams of opinion over here. And as a scholar had said, that, in the early centuries of Islam itself, scholars were interested and curious about knowing about the other traditions. And when they started reading about the other traditions by means of translations, they were confused. There was such a glut of information. In fact, it has been called the crisis of knowledge. And from that crisis, they emerged two different streams. One stream which is followed by, the great Sheikh Al-Akbar, which talks about his wujudi falsafa, and which talks about the fact that all religions have an essence of truth in them, but in the hierarchy, Islam is supreme. And on the other hand, you have another stream which is represented by those scholars who tend to express themselves in a different way and may be accused of real pantheism then. And their submission is that actually, when you look at tasawwuf, it is not just Islam that we are talking about. We really need to look beyond religion, because there have been prophets in every faith, and those prophets were there even before Islam was born. So if, yes, scriptures. So if, in fact, etymologically, they have also traced the word Birahiman, and they say when you say this word, it sounds like Abraham. So everybody is the aulad of Abraham then. So, there are different opinions over there. And I think that is what makes the study of tasawwuf so interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, please.
Just a brief comment.
Yes.
It was wonderful hearing all the speakers in this session, as well as in the previous session, and I learned a lot. I've been a political activist most of my life in Pakistan, and now we're sort of working on devising a strategy of how to counter terrorism. We've had a couple of peace meetings, and we're planning a couple more, to then engaging with civil society and intellectuals and activists. And here we have, of course, seeking to solve global crises. This is a big topic. And we're just focusing on one country. But the issues that we've identified is that you have to change the curriculum, remove all hate literature, restore historical truths, and so that children have a better education. I mean, if you want to spread any democratic ideology or tasawwuf, you have to take it to the syllabus if you want to transform the mindset of people. So, has any work been done, or do you think it should be done, how to bring tasawwuf and the values that tasawwuf stands for into not just the curriculum of the madaris, but also in the mainstream education system?
Would you like to respond? Yeah. Would you like to respond? आप कहना चाहेंगे, आप तो स्कूल में पढ़ाते हैं. Absolutely.
मैं उर्दू में जवाब दूँ?
जी जी. आप पाकिस्तान से हैं.
अच्छा.
उनकी मादरी ज़बान.
अच्छा. जी हाँ, आपने बहुत सही फरमाया. ये तो होना ही चाहिए तमाम स्कूलों में, तमाम कॉलेजों में, यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में होना ही चाहिए. तसव्वुफ़ का चैप्टर कोर्स में होना चाहिए. और कलकत्ता यूनिवर्सिटी में है, थोड़ा सा पोर्शन है, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. जैसे कि यूजी लेवल में, अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल में पढ़ाया जाता है. शेख मोहम्मद गौस गवालियारी की लाइफ एंड वर्क्स जो है वो पढ़ाया जाता है. सलीम चिश्ती के बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है, और हाफिज़ शिराज़ी के बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है. और ज़ाहिर जब इन हज़रात के बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है तो तसव्वुफ़ से तो इन लोगों का ख़ास ताल्लुक़ है, तो उन लोगों के तसव्वुफ़ के बारे में भी बताया जाता है. लेकिन यह है कि बहुत कम है पोर्शन, इस वजह से एक या दो क्लास बस एक दो क्लास में ख़त्म हो जाता है. इसको और ज़्यादा एलेबोरेट करना चाहिए ताकि और ज़्यादा अच्छे से तसव्वुफ़ के बारे में पढ़ाया जाए. ये आपने बहुत सही कहा. और हम लोगों की कोशिश तो हमेशा रहती है कि तसव्वुफ़ के बारे में पढ़ाया जाए.
और
लेकिन
आसान कर दिया जाए
जी जी
कि बच्चों को यानी किताबों के जरिए उसको बेहतर किया जाए।
जी
और
जी
बल्कि और मदारिस के जो बच्चे हैं जिन्हें जदीद उलूम से, आर्ट्स और साइंसेस से महरूम किया गया है, उनको एक तो जैयद उलमा और तालीमी एजुकेशनिस्ट जो है वो तय करें क्या सिलेबस होना चाहिए, लेकिन उन्हें जदीद तालीम से महरूम नहीं करना चाहिए।
जी 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 बेशक।
तो तालीम का एक मरकज़ी किरदार होगा अगर हम वाकई इन इक़दार को जो बैनुल-अक़वामी तौर पर कबूल किए गए और जो तसव्वुफ़ हज़ारों साल से जिसने अपनाया है, तो ये तालीम के ही ज़रिए मुमकिन हो सकेगा।
जी जी
और इसको हम समझते हैं कि अव्वलीन अहमियत हासिल होनी
जी
चाहिए।
बिल्कुल सही।
हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान में भी कुछ अमल आएगा तसव्वुफ़ से इंशाअल्लाह।
I would just like to add something to your query here. I have been engaged in the exercise of school textbook writing, and these are writings of history textbooks where we have certain problems and issues which often come up. And one of the problems which I had actually proposed to present today was about the question of Hindu-Muslim interaction in the subcontinent and what was the Sufis' take on it through narratives in the Sufi literature. So, one realizes that there is little point in haranguing about the ills or the pains of the bygone day. We cannot shove them under the carpet. We can talk about them, and we can highlight those aspects which make us move towards a more positive way in life. And I think that you're absolutely right, but I think that's a very large agenda to change the syllabus of the madaris. That is something which every nation has to decide for themselves. आपकी कौम को ये तय करना है। जी 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 जी
So we talked about in Arabic as well, and there's one observation about the self and the creator. And this is my own theory, what I call theory of everywhere, and the framing there is this, that if we consider there's a moon and it takes only 1 second to the ray, light ray, to reach onto Earth from moon, only 1 second. That means at 9 o'clock, this ray is there onto the moon and onto Earth here. And if we consider this ray as a force, and I make you ride on that force, and I say all observers of the moon that there are 1,000 observers that you say at 9 o'clock, where was this person? And they would say, this person was everywhere at 9 o'clock, and that person is only one. And at that speed, what we call that, it gives dilation of the time. It won't come up age, and it won't come up to you. That means you are 50 years old, you'll be 50 years. You'll be 50 years after 1,000 years as well. And you'll be unseen what we call Lamakan. And if we consider for that history that Lamakan is that place where Allah is, and it's a great speed, we call that in X, Y, Z, X is everywhere, is one and everywhere it is. So it reminded me of this was observation by
Thank
takers.
you so much. Thank you so much. Whatever, yeah. It sounds like virtual time. Yeah, Allah Makan Salah. Yeah, yeah. It sounds, yes. So we have, fantastic. Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. Virtual, thank you so much. Virtual time, yeah. Thank you. Yes, please.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I've been studying Sufism for the last 1 year now, and what I understand of it is that Catholic or Buddhist, but they feel Sufi, and it's intangible. What they feel, you cannot box it.
That's a neo sort of understanding of Sufism. What they're talking about here is classic Sufism from the Quran. This is like a new.
No, I think this is good. I think this is good. I think this is very good. I mean to say, we are having a discussion on the floor. Please continue.
Yeah, I think my understanding of Sufism and what you're saying is I think what the popular sort of Sufism, that you see in magazines and newspapers, and everybody's feeling, I guess that's divine love, which is also available in
of Adam is the religion of all the prophets.
Yes.
And so to say that Islam, was born in Saudi Arabia, 14 centuries ago, I don't think it's correct. I mean, in my opinion.
Of course, you're right, because in the Quran, because it is the fundamental belief in Quran that there were prophets before Prophet Muhammad. So there is an entire prophetology which goes back to Hazrat Adam. So that is always there. But when we are talking about the scriptural text, we obviously date it from the time of the revelation. I think that cannot be disputed. And when we talk about the Quranic revelation, and when we talk about Prophet Muhammad being the founder of religion, we don't dispute that. But there is also one moment, please. There is also a matter of interpretation, because we have the ulama. Yes.
I think revelation and non-revelation should be.
Oh, okay. And this is also a sensitive question. This is. Yes.
As a non-Muslim, I just like to say Islam has suffered as a religion with a lot of misinterpretation, and even Sufism in its own, like till last year it was, I heard Sufism is the mysticism of Islam, and it's not Islam. This conference, Sufism is the root of Islam. So as an outsider, I'm like, what the hell is going on, But because it's inside, it doesn't bother my head. Correct. We are having a debate, so we are talking about it. But it
No, and I think this is the way to start. Yes, please.
Islam is to act peace.
Sure, the Islam itself.
It's not a noun. It is not because even the Quran doesn't address Muslims. This is a moment. Believers.
Absolutely.
So the concept of Moses' followers being Muslims, or Moses tell your followers the Muslims. So there's the big M.
Muslim is the believer.
Right. So Muslim is one submitted, and I think the cultural language of how we see Muslims limited to after Muhammad, just like Christianity came 3 years after, when the Romans got involved and created this controlling, religion when Jesus was a Jew. So what I'm just trying to say is the whole creation of these faith traditions.
So for you to say that the prophet created
No, I beg to differ there. I said, we started this discussion.
Messenger, as far as the Quran says he was the final last messenger.
Yes.
All the other prophets, including Adam and 124,000 prophets, and it's like saying millions of prophets, came with the message of La ilaha illallah, the message of one God, and people who follow that message were Muslims, and the Quran says that. So for you to say that,
No. It's a historical. You have to. This is the difference that I was talking about. I beg to differ there. So this may be. So we would allow. I would say maybe from maybe I'm ill-read in that tradition and may not be knowing that. So I would take it from there that I will try to look at explanations of that nature and try to read into the tradition that you're talking about. No, there is no place of authority, please. I just no. I cannot be a place of authority. I'll tell you.
It's very damaging to people. It separates us.
No, it's not separating. I'll tell you why. Because I tell you why. Because the idea is to initiate a discussion, and I said already that I'm going to place before you what I know. There are two different trends, and there are two different streams in which people have been looking at the subject. The discussion started with the question of why, or there was a question from the audience raised that is tasawwuf confined essentially to Islam? Because somebody who is a non-Muslim is also feeling inclined towards this discipline. I have no answer for that, except for the fact that let's look at it in a wider term to what is happening, in a wider context of what is happening to our society today. And I think it's a very positive development if people feel inclined towards adopting certain practices, certain kind of adab and akhlaq which joins them rather than which separates them. As far as the academic position is concerned, I was simply trying to point out that if we look at the medieval world, this is the debate which is most voiced. The thing that you just pointed out about a fatwa that you have seen, where the Indians are also pointed out, they are referred to as the Ahle Kitab. I do not know this particular fatwa, but I will say for one thing that even in the 17th and the 18th century, when you look at the Sufi traditions within the Naqshbandi tradition itself, which is supposed to be rather austere, you'll have so many shades and variations. Somebody referred to Shaykh Ahmad Sarhandi as a Shuhudi, as somebody who's seeing, as somebody who may not welcome people from the other religious traditions. I think if we go into his writings and his own experience, you will see that there are aspects which are very contrary to this kind of image building that Sarhandi has. So this is what I want to say. Yes, please. Yes, please.
And also Sheikh Mirza Jani Jana
Of course.
He also mentioned the Hindus as part of the people of the Kitab, people of the book. So if the big Naqshbandi Sheikh, like you said, are like, very austere.
Yes, please. I think.
Like are recognizing Hindus as Ahlul Kitab, like, this is subject to reflection. Can I just say something?
Yeah, sure. But I think there is someone.
And you see Hindus and Sikhs going to Hazrat Imam Rabbani.
Absolutely.
You see Sikhs there, you see Hindus there, you see Hindus going to, other Naqshbandi shrines like Hazrat Muhammad al-Badwani.
Sure.
So I mean, tasawwuf is nur. So who are we to
judge? Yes, please. I think somebody else in the audience. Yes, please.
I think we should not be. Your question was valid, but understand one thing: that Sufism is the basis of every religion. Because it is a base of every religion. It is not confined to Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, or anything. Yes, we have a defined line that was worked on and was specified in all these things under Islam. But the basis was, any religion was made, like languages were made, so that we can communicate and we can protect and we can join people, every religion.
Sure.
So, that is the basic essence of every religion. We should not even have a conflict of any type of conversation. Either there's a fatwa or no fatwa. This is humanity.
This is humanity.
Religions were created to join. The differences in that are there so that we can recognize each other. That is why our faces look different, our names are different, so that we can recognize each other. If everyone looked the same, we would not recognize each other. So religions were made to unite. Unfortunately, we've taken differences to divide. So yes, the Hindus are our brothers. As Muslims, as I feel, anyone else, who am I to judge? It is between you and God. Only between you and me is going to be sound like a description of
Because even Guru Nanak and all the other gurus of Sikhism are counted as Sufis for the believers. We look at them as Sufis.
See, there are over 100,000 prophets. In the Quran, you were mentioned. We never know. One of the Hindu gurus, maybe before the Prophet Muhammad the mighty prophets.
I think there is a yes, please. Yes, please.
No, I just wanted to make a comment that there are Muslims and there are Muslims and there are orders and there are orders. So, we have to stop looking at Muslim communities as a monolith to begin with. So, there are traditions and traditions.
Absolutely
so
right.
That we have to accept that with it because of the one. There are people who say this is tasawwuf is not Islam. There are people who say it's the soul of Islam. So, we have to accept and be diverse in our understanding
Absolutely,
of
yes.
religion as well.
Absolutely. And I think I'd just like to say this, if you would allow me just 2 minutes, that, this is the basic academic question that people are now trying to grapple with. How do we explain the interaction between communities? And when we talk about the Hindu and the Muslim, the problem is that we are burdened with huge historiographies which talk about the communities as monoliths, that they are unchanging, that they are rigid, that they are narrow-minded, that there is little tolerance, and they are sticklers of their scripture and their faith. But actually, when we come towards a closer examination of how people actually lived their faith, and this is why Marshall Hodgson had coined that term Islamic Gate, with reference to so many communities across the world beyond Arabia, where people were living Islam in different ways, but yet they were Muslim. So this is the thing that we need to look at. So now the discourse and scholarship is talking about interaction between the Indic and the Islamicate so as to encompass the diverse traditions within every community, which is not subscribing to the formula of a monolith. We are talking about heterogeneous communities. Thank you so much. It has been a lovely session here. And now Mr. Tafiq would like to propose a vote of thanks for the session. Thank you.
Before that, I'd just like to publicly apologize, and I just want to, because I did goof up majorly, I have huge respect for Meenakshi. She's a student of Karl Ernst and a great scholar in India on Sufism. Yeah, there was some. So I'm just want to say really I'm sorry, and I hope you forgive me in the spirit of the conference and the spirit of compassion.
No, I think the spirit of the conference is tasawwuf, and the first principle of tasawwuf is adab and akhlaq. I adhere to it, and it's very nice of you to say all that you have said. It was not needed. It was not required. Please. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.